me a second to get this all set up the way I want it before we start chit-chatting. Not quite. Gotta get my footrest over here. I'm getting old. Hey, what's up, Juan? ¿Cómo está, amigo? Trump won. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. Yeah. I just found out about that Let's Go, Brandon from the NASCAR driver. That's pretty cool. Many people may not show up on Monday at work. Why? What's going on Monday? Or are you talking about the thing you were talking about, the walkout that they're staging? Ooh. Not too sure if it's for parking pad. Okay. Oh, that can't be touching the screen. Okay, so we got 4 people in here. We can start. So basically, once you start your business and you're kind of at the level that I'm at, a lot of people basically want to contact you and get work, right? Which it's understandable. You know, I did the same thing when I first started. And, you know, the problem, here's the thing. Everybody has good intentions, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? And a lot of people get burned helping people, right? So people like me, I've helped a lot of people out with these videos. I've helped a lot of people, a lot of truckers with work and stuff. And then, you know, I have to put in precautions to protect myself from those people that, on the surface, they want your help, but then it turns into more than just wanting your help. It turns into wanting your customers, right? So I came up with a non-compete agreement that I wrote up. I wrote it up myself. You know, I basically plagiarized most of it from Google, but I changed a lot of the stuff on it. And kind of wanted to get your guys' opinion, and you guys can tell me if you think that's, you know, I'm psycho, or if, you know, if it sounds fair, right? So basically, in my non-compete agreement, I basically say, okay, the parties are basically you and me, right? And then the terms is basically, the term of the non-compete is basically, you know, while we are working together and 5 years after we terminate the business connection, right? So let's say somebody's working for me and, you know, things go sideways and we decide that partnership is not working out, the teamwork is not working out, somebody's mad at somebody, you know, somebody has a lack of integrity or something, and you just decide to go different directions. And so my agreement is for during the time and for 5 years after it terminates. Does 5 years sound too long? To me, it doesn't sound that long, right? I've worked for 5 years, or, you know, well, not quite 5 years, 4 years to gain these customers that I have. And after this agreement terminates, for 4 years, I don't want them bothering my customers, right? I mean, that makes sense to me, 100% sense to me, right? So you guys let me know in the chat or in the comments if you think 5 years. What are we discussing today? We're talking about a non-compete agreement, Blake. So basically, I have you guys know, a lot of people ask me for help in the dump truck world. And I finally decided to come up with a non-compete agreement, which basically means if I help you out, this isn't going to burn me in the long run. It's going to burn them in the long run, basically. And what it is I wrote it up. So I said, basically, while you're working for me, you're not allowed to contact my customers, for business. And once I'm done helping you, done dispatching you, and we decide to go our separate ways, you cannot contact my customers for 5 years. Like, I feel like I've worked 5 years for those customers. I'm not going to let you touch them for another 5. You know what I mean? Most are indefinite. Okay. Well, see, there you go. Most are indefinite. So you can't compete at all with them. Okay. I kind of feel like 5 years is a good number because, like, let's say, what if I sell my business or if I go out of business? I mean, obviously the contract would probably be void if I went out of business. Then they would be able to go and talk to my customers. And, at the end of the day, if they're a great person and they kept their end the whole way, if I ever did go out of business or something or decide to sell, I would be hooking them up with them. Like, I would make sure that they took care of me. I'm going to take care of them. That's just who I am. So, but, okay, so let me get on to the agreement. So basically, the term is 5 years. Yeah, so I didn't, my contract is not written up with their business. It's with that person personally, Blake. I see what you're saying. Like, if you say the agreement's between VANDUYN and Joe Schmo Trucking, what if the customer reached the driver? Then the driver should say to the customer, I'm not the one that you talk to. You got to go through Big Daddy Brian over there. You got to go talk to Brian. He's the man to talk to. That's above my pay grade. That's all you got to say. And then they'll know, You just say, yeah, I'm not the one to talk to for that. Stop killing my side hustle. So over the 3 years, I've had multiple people say, hey man, I need some work. Like, I literally have a list of like 50 to 60 phone numbers in my phone of just other truck drivers who wanted work from me, and it happens almost every single week. Somebody new contacts me. Hey man, you got any extra work? You got any this? You got any that? Your customers paid for my new driveway material. So basically, and personally, I do not think that any of my customers would leave me and go to somebody else. That's not what I'm saying by making this contract. I'm almost 1,000% my customers would not leave me and go to somebody else or call somebody else before they call me. But I just I want to have the peace of mind, Like, I want to be able to have legal ramifications if somebody goes back and tries to rate cut me, say, oh, hey, man, remember I worked for you through Brian. You know how I work. I can do that. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a deal. That is not going to happen under my watch, right? That is not going to happen. If you try that stuff, I'm going to sue you. That's what it's for, basically. Like, you stay honest and I stay honest is basically the reason why I came up with this contract. Because I don't need to be, making extra duty to make my customers happy. I keep them very happy. I don't need somebody else trying to orbit my customers. They don't want orbiters. That's what I'm going to call them. We don't need orbiters. People that just try and hang around, and then eventually when the opportunity happens, like, hey, Brian, oh, man, I'm already slammed. Oh, I'm going to call this person. No, I don't need orbiters, right? If my customer, they need something, I'll make sure it gets taken care of. What's the fine? What do you mean, what fine? What are you talking about, Justin? So anyways, so I basically made the contract 5 years. You can't, and here's what I did. I made it specific to the customers I have today. I made a list, and it's not all my customers. It's just my top 8. My top 8 customers. I wrote the business names out. You cannot compete with me with these 8 companies. That's all I said. Only 8, right? And I probably have close to 50 or 60 customers on my books, right? Probably even more than that, actually. But anyways, 8 companies that I work with on almost a daily basis. That's what the agreement is for. So you do not compete against me with these 8 customers. I didn't put, companies that I hadn't been working for, right? So I just put those 8 companies, that I've been working very hard to keep happy. And, I don't think it would be right if somebody came in and worked for me and then they got a contact and then they started undercutting me. I don't think that's right. Most say in the contract they will come after you for the lost wages and they will back charge you any of the broker fees they lost for as long as you worked. Dang, yeah. I mean, I would try and go after their truck personally. You use your truck to stab me in the back, I'm going to take that truck. We're going to take that truck, or trucks. That's just, you don't backstab somebody. We're in a small industry. A lot of people know a lot of people, and a lot of us already know who to stay away from. We already know who the backstabbers are, and but the problem lies within our industry is constantly overturning with dump truck businesses, right? Dump truck businesses is kind of a high turnover industry. If you last for 4 or 5 years, you're pretty much set in the business. You're probably not going anywhere. If you've only been in business 1 or 2 years, you may not stick around. I mean, that's just the cold hard truth. I probably know just myself personally, probably 6 guys that owned a truck at one point and they sold it because it just didn't pan out for them. Probably at least 6. I can think of 3 right now, just off the top of my head, 3 that just immediately come to mind. So probably if I sat and thought about it for about 10 minutes, I bet I could come up with 6 of them. They bought a truck, they were working it, and then they just was like, this sucks, I'm selling it. So in the dump truck industry, there's a lot of turnover, and you get a lot of people, and you want to help them because you're a good person, and you want to keep your customers happy, so you try and supply them with trucks, and you just got to be careful of who you help because sometimes it will come back to really burn you. And it's just something I'm trying. I'm gonna try it out, and the people that want to work for me, they're gonna have to sign the non-compete. That's just the way I want it to be, and I seen a company the company I do work for like $120K, and they told a 1-year-old Kenworth from them to pay what they owed. They told a 1-year-old Kenworth to pay for it? See, that's what I'm talking about right there. How much did the pup cost? JS Dump Trucking? I don't have a pup trailer. I'm looking at getting one. I haven't looked at it yet, but he wants $3,500. They took ownership of it. Dang, that's gangster right there. Like, hey, you owe me? We're seizing this. You know? That's crazy, man. That's crazy. See, that's the type of stuff, like, people don't play around, man. And it's serious. Like, people like me, we're down to help people, but we're going to CYA. You know, that's just what it is. You got to cover your assets. You know, you cannot just let Joe Schmo walk in and grab your bag of gold and take off. You know? So, you know, that's just the way I feel about the whole thing. And, you know, I've worked very hard for what I have. And, you know, I'm very, very inclined to help people. But I'm not going to lose out on the deal. That's just not the way I'm going to set it up for. If you want me to help you, if you want me to take care of you and give you work, you got to play by my rules, you know. And, you know, that's just the way it is, you know. I got some customers, and I'm very thankful that they're my customers, and I'm going to keep them my customers, you know. And, you know, that's just the way it's going to be for me. I don't need to help anybody, honestly. I'm at a point right now where I could just do my own stuff and be completely happy. You know, I'm at a point where I don't need to help anybody else to get any more work. That's kind of where I'm at. You know, but I do it because I like helping people. Have you had any more truck problems since you got the international back? Yes. It's still having that funky non-start issue where you have to jiggle the wires to go to the starter to get it to start. So I'm thinking one of the wires going to the starter is loose. It's got a funky loose connection because most of the time it starts, sometimes it doesn't. And you just got to poke the bundle of wires with a stick, and then next thing you know, it starts. So probably going to be working on that on Sunday. Must be a back contact. I'm not sure. I hired 2 drivers. I did hire 2 drivers. One of them will be starting this Saturday. This Friday will probably be his first kind of day. We're just kind of doing paperwork. He's going to help me out on a side job. And then Saturday will be his first day riding with me. And then, you know, probably going to train him for a full week. And then he'll be on his own. And we'll probably be parking the International down in Ording. So I got a dump site where I've agreed to keep some rock on the driveway for the guy. And he said I can park the truck there. So it's really close to the rock quarry. Works out for me and him. So, who are you talking about? You know I can't talk about employees on here. You're the guy that told me I can't talk about employees on here. Are you going to be affected by the communist vax mandate? I heard it's required for state jobs. Not that I know of. I mean, every now and then we do some work for state jobs, but we never. I told the companies I work for I don't want to do prevailing wage, so we're not directly tied to the state. You know. Where they're paying us prevailing wage. So I don't think they can force that jab on us. And no, if one of my customers said that, I would not be working for them. They could just shove it for all I care. Not happening. We're not getting the jab. We're not going to be forcing employees to do that. Not happening. Usually don't bother my trucks with that stuff because we technically never step foot on their property. Yeah. Yep. Basically kind of what I'm saying. You know, we do stockpiling a lot for state jobs, but you know, we're not placing the material exactly where they want, so we're not getting paid prevailing wage and that type of stuff. I did do it one time, and it came to bite me back in the butt for doing it. It was only 2 loads too, and I had to fill out the stupid affidavit. Charged me $20. I probably spent more time with the paperwork than I did even hauling the loads, which is very frustrating to me. So I do not do state work. I do not do it. It's not worth it. The money is not worth it. They only pay you a certain amount. And yes, they pay you more than your normal rate, but with what they force you to pay your driver, you actually end up making less than if you would have not have done it. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's another thing, Blake. Dude, if they try to force us to wear masks on a job site, we ain't getting out of the truck or we ain't doing it. Like, I'm not doing the mask crap either. Yeah, no. Unless the driver wants to do that of his own free will, that's up to him. But I will not do it, personally. That's why they're rentals, they say. Yeah. So, Josh, I'm going to make you sign that non-compete too, because I know you're going to be buying a truck eventually. You're going to have to sign it, buddy. I'm sorry, man. That's just the cold way it goes, you know. I can't be having you buying a truck and stealing all my customers I worked so hard for. Hopefully that doesn't offend you. I found a driver for the old Pete. I found a young lady who she has her own truck, and she's going to fill in and then drive her truck. She's having second thoughts about my non-compete contract, and that's mainly why I'm doing this video, because if she watches this, I want her to see that everybody else, you know, agrees with what I've said in my terms, you know. And I've been on YouTube for, you know, a good 4 or 5 years now, almost 5 years probably. Actually, I've had my channel for a lot longer than that, but you know, you get what you see, you know. That's just the way it is. So, you know, all of you guys can vouch, you know, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. You know, I sent out all those shirts. I didn't have to do that. I sent out all those stickers. I didn't have to do that. And, you know, it's just the way it is. So, the last person that called me a liar couldn't back it up, and then they went ghost and silenced, and they didn't say nothing about it. I think I'm going to fix it up with my new free time and see it through Ritchie Brothers. What are you fixing up, Blake? Is your OP already plumbed for a pup trailer? Yes, it is. It's already plumbed. I have not tested it, though, so that's going to be interesting. Planning to get another new truck soon? Probably not. Maybe a trailer, though. I'm thinking about a pup trailer. The old red truck. You're going to sell it? You're going to sell it? The old International? Gonna fix it up and sell it, huh? Dude, it's almost cheaper, Blake, to get a loan and fix up an old truck than it is to go buy a new truck with a loan. Only problem is finding somebody to fix it up. Just gotta do some buffing and paint work, and she gone. Dang, what's she listening for, man? What are you listening for? These used prices are crazy. I know they are. I know they are, dude. I listed my P for 35 and I had like 6 people. 6 people contact me within the first 5 hours. I was like, damn, I listed this a little low, didn't I? That's one of the reasons why I took it back off. I'm like, no, I can't sell for that low. I don't know, maybe 25 and see when it goes at auction. Please say 350. What's 350? Dude, you can sell that thing for 80, Blake. You can sell it for 80, dude. It's got a drop axle. Are you looking at the Galleon pup trailer in Olympia? I don't know if that's... I don't think that's the one. Are they selling one in Olympia? One of the guys I do trucking with has an old pup that he's selling it. And it's just a 2-axle. But it bumped me up to 25 tons. You know, so I could at least make what the supers are making. It's a good truck, just too loud. Unless you're a new guy getting into the business, they love them old loud Cummins. Yeah, I know how new guys love loud trucks. That is definitely very true. Every single new guy wants a truck with a straight pipe on it when they first start. 45K. Yeah, I could probably sell the Pete for 45. Thoughts on buying trucks at auction? Whoo, that's a crazy one right there. My thoughts are, if you can't look at it, do not buy it. That's what my thoughts are. Yeah, look at it before you buy it. I mean, just looking at it, you're going to know so much about the truck. Like, just look at it, its overall condition. In person, pictures are very deceiving. I put the new exhaust on it, drove it one time, and was like, I'll get back into Pete. Yeah. See, dude, I've even played around with the idea of selling all the trucks except for the new one and me just hopping in the new one. But I'm not going to do that, dude. Running 3 trucks is where it's at. Dude, I love running 3 trucks. I wouldn't mind running 4 or 5, I think. 4 or 5 would be my limit, personally. Hey, should I buy a truck or buy my first house? That's completely up to you, Walter. Dude, I can't give you that advice, man. You're going to have to talk to your wife or talk to your parents or somebody else, man. I ended up selling my duplex and buying a dump truck. You know, I bought one at auction. I picked it up and immediately regretted it, but it sold now after 70K. But it's solid after 70K. That's the red one you're talking about, right, Blake? You picked it up for how much? Dude, me and Blake have talked about our first truck so many times, dude, because we have so much in common. Like, my first truck, dude, the picture looks sweet as heck. I'm looking at the picture like, ooh, it's an orange Pete. It's got a fresh paint on it. Yeah, let's roll this. I tend to only like investing money in stuff that makes more money. Yes, come amen to that. So, my old truck, man, dude, I fell in love with that thing just over looking at the pictures. I was so head over heels that I overlooked all the stupid crap that when I actually got there and looked at it, I overlooked all that stupid stuff. And I should have just smacked myself in the head with a 2x4. You know, all the stuff I overlooked. You know, just because I was already emotionally attached. You know, just off some stupid picture. So, that was a Sterling. Picked it up for 36. Had to put the new motor in and fix everything. Yeah. Yeah, dude. We got some good stories, Blake. We got some good experience in the industry. That's what always... See... And that will either make you or break you in the industry. I think. And that's why I tell people to buy a used truck. Because guaranteed they're going to have something happen like you and me had. Where it's cost so much money to get it back together. And you have to work so hard that you can't give up. Once you've worked that hard for it to succeed, There's no way you're going to let anything stop you. Yeah. I mean, and a lot of people, it just breaks them, you know. A lot of, a few of the guys that I know, that's what broke them, you know. A cracked frame broke them. They were like, I can never get this fixed. I can't do this. I can't do that, you know. And they just let that one obstacle kill them. It kills their dream, you know what I mean? And, you know, for good reason too, though. It is, this industry, this business is brutal. Dude, I was about to buy a beautiful 94 Pete for $24K, but it had a Cummins 110 in it. 110 in it. Shaking my head. When you're new, every day is make or break. Amen to that, Blake. Amen to that. It's still make or break 4 years later half the time, it seems like, you know? You still have that mindset of like, oh, something's going to break me. Something's coming around that corner. Them 10-liter Cummins aren't bad, just not a lot of power. Yeah, it's... Man, I'll tell you what, dude. Reminiscing about when I first started is one of my favorite things to do. 300 horsepower. So, JS Dump Trucking. Is that Justice Surgical Dump Trucking? Is that one of Justin's spam accounts? Or is that somebody else? It's still make or break depending on what the drivers mess up. Amen to that, Mike. Amen to that, dude. That was like when Brandon called me. And he's like, hey, man, I got some bad news. I'm like, yeah, you normally call me when it's bad news. What's up? He's like, no, it's really bad. And I'm like, what happened? And he's like, the cylinder broke off. And I'm like, what? Send me a picture. Send me a picture. I don't understand. What do you mean the cylinder broke off? That can mean a whole bunch of things. What does the cylinder broke off mean? I've had that call before. Yeah. The cylinder broke off. Like, what does that even mean? Like, the cylinder broke off. That thing's got 3 on it. Which one? How did it break off? You know, what did it look like? Then he sent me some pictures. I was like, oh man, I'm going to go out of business with this one. And then finally, you know, I got, you know, something to eat and just chilled out a little bit. And then finally I was like, okay, now we got a game plan. Let's weld this up. We'll get some new hoses made, and boom, it was done in a weekend, you know, and it didn't cost me nothing except for like 300 in hoses, you know, and like a $50 piece for a sleeve for the eye, you know. But when you first start, dude, you're gonna have some heart attacks over some stupid stuff, you know. So back when I first started, I was great going out, making contacts, and grinding. Houston here, didn't DMV test was last chance. Anyone out there know which way to do if maybe go to DPS for pre-test and driving test or what? I don't understand your question at all. I'm from Washington. You will learn to wrench real quick or go broke. Amen to that, Blake. Amen to that, dude. You're gonna learn how to wrench. You're gonna learn how to suffer through it, or you're gonna go broke. That is the truth, man. I don't know how many times I've been laying on Corey spalls in the pouring down rain, thinking, "What in the heck did I get myself into? You know, what was I thinking? Somebody kicked me in the nuts or something, you know? Wake me up from this nightmare, you know?" But that's when you make your money. I hate to say it, that's when you really make your money. I got took for $10K on the red one and still had to fix it myself. And when he says that, he means he paid somebody $10,000 to fix a motor, and he brought it home and it was blown after they fixed it. And they're like, well, it's nothing we did. We didn't do nothing about it. We can't cover that. It's like, dude, you just put a new motor in it. What are you talking about? You can't cover that. You did the work. Yeah, dude, that's one of those things that makes you want to quit. And you're just like, man, screw this. This is redonkulous, you know? But there are those days, though, Blake, when you're cashing those $30,000 checks and you're like, ooh, yeah, let's do this. I don't care what breaks. We got the money. We can do this, you know? That's when I'm scrambling to buy that sterling. Yeah. Yep. It's crazy, man. Crazy. I got 3 trucks. You know, I was actually looking at a 4th truck. But me and the wife, we are set on building our house first. We need to build our house before we buy another dump truck. I've told myself this like a million times, and I still catch myself slipping. Last week I was looking at a side dump. And the week before that, somebody sent me a few pictures of an end dump, and they're like, hey, Brian, $18,000, pick it up, man. It's an old farm truck. You call whatever you want. Stumps in it, brush in it. It's only 18 grand. You can't lose on that. And then I started thinking, I'm like, it's 18,000 for a reason. Don't touch that thing, man. Do not touch that thing. It's 18,000 for a reason. You know? And then I seen that side dump on, it was either Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. I can't remember. But I seen a side dump, like a 96 for $45K. And I was like, Brian, you got the money, man. Let's do this. Let's do it. Let's buy a side dump. And I'm like, nope. House comes first. House comes first, Brian. Got to build that house. Got to build that house. That's what you've been saving so hard for. You know? So, we've been saving, man. We've been saving. We have been saving hardcore. 2007 side dump cost $27,500. You talking about just the trailer, Juan, or are you talking about the truck and the trailer? I seen it was the truck and the trailer for $45,000. I know you can buy a brand new side dump trailer for $60,000. Is what the price it usually is. Get you a flow boy or slinger. A rock slinger. Ooh, those make some money though. Especially in Washington, dude. Those guys are making like $300+ an hour. But, dude, the maintenance on one of those things, dude, I don't even want to think about the maintenance on one of those things. Every time you go to a quarry, they got mechanics around all those conveyor belts, and there's a reason. They break down all the time. $250 an hour. Yeah, so it's at least $350 an hour here then. If they charge a $250 an hour there, it's probably $350 here. But, dude, those things probably break all the time, dude. I guarantee you. Did you learn to do asphalt on your own? Yeah, basically, I learned how to do it on my own. I never worked for anybody. So, basically, I got contracted with a whole bunch of buddies. And, I just hopped in line and watched everybody else. Lots of moving parts. Yeah, dude, those conveyors, man. I bet you they break all the time. What's up?
Just want to know how much you're paying Whitney.
I can't tell you on the live stream.
So I'm texting you so you can tell me.
Oh. It's on Busy. You can look at it.
Is it?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
How much is fuel up in your area?
Too much.
Too much. She's saying wrap it up. You can't wrap it up. We got 18 people in here. Here in Texas. Yeah, 18. It was up to about 25, 26 people for a little bit there. We got 4 likes. Only 4 true Patriots on here. Mine says 21. Mine just went to 19. Here in Texas, I know a lot of people with tandem trucks work but want to get triaxle and make more money doing asphalt. Yeah, there's, in Washington, I would say a triaxle is like the minimum. Like, if you want to be in the industry I'm in, triaxle is the minimum. Tandems, you're in a different ball game, man. You got to charge a certain amount because you're a specialty truck, you know, because you do small deliveries and you can get into tighter places. Like, but you're not hauling, like, you're not going to be hauling side by side with me, usually. Not happening. Mine says 21. Well, we're up to 7 likes, so I'm happy with that. Let's pound that like button, guys. Let's share this on your social media site of preference. Get that out there, you know. For those of you that are out just now joining, I guess I'll talk about the non-compete contract real quick again. We basically covered it, and I was getting people's opinions of the no-compete contract. Basically, it was, you know, I wrote up a contract that said, while you're working for me, you agree to not compete against me in basically any way, shape, or form with a list of 8 customers that I have. And you cannot compete with me even until 5 years after the relationship has been terminated, right? So, you know, basically that's what the agreement was. I have 8 customers. I have a lot more than 8, but 8 are my primary customers. They're my bread and butter, and I will not give them up for nothing, you know. And if I'm going to help you in your business, I'm not taking any risk at all. I'm not taking any risk because I'm happy with where I'm at. You're the one, you know, if somebody wants to join in, then they need to put their faith in me. You know what I mean? If they want the work I'm going to give them, they got to have the trust in me. So, you know, that's just the way it goes, you know. And I've worked very hard. I've worked for the past 4 years building these customers, you know, this customer base. I'm not just going to let somebody walk in and, you know, say, hey, man, I worked for you when I was with Brian. You know how I work. Let me, I'll tell you what, I'll charge you $10 an hour less, you know, and then you come in and take my customer. That is not happening, you know, not happening. So definitely, you know, I help a lot of people. I just got to be protecting myself, you know, and that's what the non-compete contract is. And, you know, it's basically saying you won't compete with me while we're, you know, working together. And once that relationship is terminated, you won't compete with me for 5 years after the relationship is terminated. You know, and I think that's totally fair. And, you know, I'll let you guys tell me what you think in the comments and in the chat. So, a few people said that indefinitely is what most of them are. Like, you never going to compete against me, you know, which I get why most people would do that, obviously, you know, because, you know, my business, it's going to be a generational business. It's not just me, right? Eventually, this business will be passed down to my son and my daughter, you know, so I don't want them having to fight with anybody, you know, and if somebody comes in and learns all the ins and outs of what I got going on, they're not going to have a chance to compete with me because I'm going to make them sign the contract, you know, and that way I'm not cutting the food supply off for my kids down the line, you know, and 5 years, you know, a lot can happen in 5 years, you know. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it at that, you know. So people change, and you know, I don't want somebody changing for the worse and then having it come back and bite me in the butt. So I'm gonna have to start making people sign my agreement, you know. That's basically where it goes. And then also, if I'm going to be, I've also determined, like, I've talked to Brandon and a few of my other, you know, buddies and associates and friends, and I've pretty much come up with, basically, if I'm going to be dispatching you full time, I'm going to be charging you 10%, basically, of the invoice, you know, and that is a little more steep than most dispatchers in my area. I will say it's probably close to double, what they charge. But the added benefit is I'm going to pay you a lot sooner, and you don't have to take the risk of getting, strung out 90 days, 180 days, which one payment from a customer strung out 180 days is still way more than what you'll be paying me. You know what I mean? So it's, in my book, for the service that I'm offering, I think it's well worth it, and I have a lot of knowledge in the industry, and I've worked very hard for my knowledge, and it's not free, it's not free. YouTube videos are free. You can take all the YouTube videos you want and you can watch them, and I get paid for the ads, but my, if I'm going to help you one-on-one like that, it's going to cost, and I feel like I've definitely earned that. I've went through a lot of struggles, and this is how I kind of pay myself back for going through all those struggles, So anyways, check this out, guys. We got some wire mesh. We're going to be putting a big concrete pad here really soon. So one of the plans we have, I've been talking to one of my neighbors. I'm becoming very good friends with him. He's kind of a fabricator of sorts. Very cool dude. He's gonna see about getting me 2 I-beams, basically 6x8 I-beams, steel, probably 1/8 inch. Probably not nothing too crazy, and we might inlay them into the concrete, right? So basically, the main reason for it is because, when you drive a tracked machine up onto concrete, it can chip it, right? So if you drive the tracks onto the steel, it's not going to chip, right? So that's one of the main reasons. The second reason is because we have no real way of screeding the concrete. Like, once we dump the concrete, how are we going to scrape it so it's mostly level? That's the tough issue with doing it in between 2 shipping containers. Apparently they make some sort of thing you can poke in the concrete and then it holds something and you can scrape it that way. But I'm not a concrete guy, so I don't know any of that stuff. But I can tell you, if we lay 2 big I-beams, we can dump the concrete in there and pull a board across the 2 I-beams and have it, perfectly level. Or pretty dang close. So it's going to be 6 inches thick, and we already got this wire that is going to be basically 2.5 inches off the ground. I bought a whole bunch of these plastic pegs from Home Depot. 2.25. Basically, this is what they look like. Just set them on the ground, and then the wire sits on top of it. It's made for rebar, but it'll work for those. So we're probably going to be doing that within, 2 or 3 weeks. I'd hope really soon, because if I have to work on a truck, I'd like to roll it up on some concrete and roll around on the creeper instead of on these Corey spalls, because that is very brutal on my back. Here's our new tractor. Well, it's not new, but it's new to us. This is a tractor I picked up with Kenzie's grandfather. It's got a blade on it. I picked it up with Kenzie's grandpa, and he gave it to us. That was very thoughtful of him, and we're definitely going to get some real good use out of it. We got 3 attachments for it. You can see over there's a box blade, a rototiller, and we also have a rake, a big rake. It's sitting over there in the trailer. Another thing you guys are really going to want to watch, stay tuned for this video. It's going to be a whole video series I'm going to be doing, kind of as a tribute to, you know, my wife's grandpa. He, basically the whole family wanted us to get his old dozer, right? He said it was a 1948 D2 Caterpillar, wide track, right? It's a 1948. There is one video on my YouTube channel about it. When it was probably like 2 years ago, me and Grandpa, we actually got the pony motor started. And that was the first time it had started in like 30 years, probably, you know, because he said something about the mag being bad, and then he had to get a new mag for it. I did get the video of us loading it onto my tilt deck with my mini excavator. It's actually a pretty lightweight dozer. I'm guessing it's probably around 6,000 to 7,000 pounds, if I had to guess. Maybe a little bit lighter, I don't know. Maybe 10,000. It's definitely not as heavy as my TD7C. Not even close. But this is the dozer right here. It's just a 2-way blade. Well, it's a 4-way if you know, but it's manual adjusting. Old Caterpillar. Grandpa made the roll protection. This is the dozer he used to clear his property. But it's got a pony motor right there. That's a, you know, homemade electric start. You know, which it kind of works. But the belt, let's just say the belt slips. The way it's mounted up right now, it does not work. When we started it, I was up here with a pull cord wrapped around that wheel, and that's how we started it. And then we had it running, and then we couldn't get it to slow down, and then it died, and then we couldn't get it started again. So we kind of gave up on that day because it was getting late. I got the engine cover for that side too. And then I also got a nice steel plate table from Grandpa also. That's going to be going next to the shipping container. So just got to move it over there. But this is the Cat D2 1948. Stay tuned for the series getting this bad boy running. We're going to get it running and probably give it a paint job eventually. You know, it's got the wide tracks. Just to give you kind of a size comparison. Oh, geez, it's getting dark. Oh my. We loaded it with the Mini. I basically pushed onto the trailer with the Mini. You'll have to watch the video. It's pretty cool. But there's my TD7C dozer. The tracks on the D2 are wider than the TD7C by about an inch or so. But all right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. It's getting really dark out here. Got really dark really quick. The clouds kind of came in. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to pound that like button. Let me know what you think about the, you know, the non-compete contract, and I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.